Well, Austen Kroll and Luann de Lesseps must have been good this year because they got to sit on Santa's lap as part of an amazing new campaign by the chicken company Raising Cane's. Now, maybe if Santa is good this year, they'll leave out Raising Cane's chicken for him under the tree in addition to milk and cookies. Amy, what are your thoughts on this new type of marketing campaign that incorporates Santa Claus?
Raising Cane's really has their finger in all the pies. They remember Ariana served
Yes.
Raising Cane's after Scandival. A lot of the Dodgers have served Raising Cane's. I
Yeah.
think they flew out Sierra to the F1 thing right after BravoCon, and she was like, only Raising Cane's could get me back to Vegas 2 weeks in a row. And I'm like, they really have their finger on the pulse. I'm seeing Raising Cane's left and right.
Me too. I think that they have learned, Raising Cane's, this company of chicken and fries, that Bravo fans are very loyal, and we celebrate when Bravo celebrities get ads, which is different than a lot of other, like if Jeremy Strong was eating Raising Cane's, we would like it, but it would be not the same sort of, I think, huge impact. Whereas
Not
we
a bad
all
idea.
Yeah, he'd be great for that. And what the hell am I talking about? He'd be amazing for Raising Cane's. But it's like when Angie K gets the Arby's big meat ad saying, I like French fries or whatever. We go, oh my God, give her the Oscar or the Clio for ads. And so I think that they just know that Bravo fans are fervent. And once they tapped into that with Ariana, they're never going to let that fervor go. Did you see this ad with Austen and
No, I didn't.
Oh my God, it's awesome. It just says has Austen Kroll, and he's sitting on Santa's lap, and he goes, I love eating chicken before I get to sit on Santa's lap. And then Luann is waiting next kind of, I'll say champing at the bit to get on Santa's lap, so that Austen can get off so that she can get on, and they're both holding Raising Cane's chicken. I'm just going to show on Instagram. Do you see it?
Oh my God, I'm sure she was ready to get on Santa's lap. I love Luann. She has major Santa baby energy. We also, not to step on this, I guess let's finish our thoughts on Raising Cane's because it is important.
Sure. Yeah, if you don't mind, I want to talk about it a little more. But is Santa? I have to say this: whenever you get Santa in an ad, it's sort of a gold mine. Do you remember when those M&Ms?
Coca-Cola knows that
Coca-Cola
very well.
Coca-Cola kind of invented the modern Santa. I read this Bill Bryson book, and they were the first people to make his big clothes red and put him in a big long beard. So Coca-Cola is sort of responsible for making our image of Santa Claus. But then remember when those M&Ms around our childhood, when the M&Ms were stumbled upon Santa under the tree, and I think instead of cookies they
do exist.
Yes. So I'm just saying it's sort of a gold mine to tap into Santa around this holiday for a bunch of brands. And so Raising Cane's, in addition to sort of tapping into Bravo fervor, knows that Santa Claus.
I'm gonna lift behind the curtain. They're building a chud tunnel underneath my kitchen right now, and it's very loud. We're hoping that the AI editor will take the sound out, but for us, it sounds like I'm inside the chud tunnel, like I'm reporting live from the chud tunnel.
Yeah, and I really do think Magic Audio is going to get some of those, some of that kind of grit out of the final audio. But anyway, we'll just continue on for sure. And I just think that, I have closing thoughts, which is that congratulations to Austen and Luann. I think this campaign is going to go all the way until January 1st.
You sent me some Luann-centric news that first of all, wasn't she on the cover of Us Weekly? Was that a real cover or was that a digital cover?
It's one of the you were the first one to tell me what these things were, these digital covers where it's like, hey, pick and show this to your fans. You can pretend you're on the cover, but you're not actually on the print cover. But I think it was digital. That's such a huge question. Digital
because
or
I don't
print?
see that at the grocery store. But
No,
I would love if I did.
Me too. It would be one that I buy. I don't know. I don't know, and that's a wonderful question. I don't know if she was at the.
There's no way. It's only says stuff about Luann on it. There's no other stories. It says Luann de Lesseps.
Yeah.
She's a man-eater. How the Countess translated her love of men and cabaret into post-Housewives success. Plus, she lets us peek inside her little black book.
Yeah, digital then, right? Because all the stories pertain to her. But yeah, spilling on sex at 60, all the men she's loved and lost, and then mourning Roni. So this is huge for Luann. It's this cover. Oh my God, she's eating. I'm gonna say it. I don't care if we get demonetized on YouTube. She's holding a fork and it's got 2 wedding cake men on it, or little plastic figurines of men. They're not wedding cake men, and she's about to eat them. And so it's very
a
clearly
true man eater. In an interview, I think it was part of this interview, they asked her if she would ever be the Golden Bachelorette, and she was like, "Oh yeah, like send those honeys my way." And I was like, I would watch the shit out of that.
That would be so great. I don't want her to go to ABC because I don't want ABC to ever get Bravo talent. They wouldn't know what to do with it. It'd be like they'd be too shocked beyond belief. Luann would have her own channel, an ABC affiliate, if they ever got their hands on Luann. So I don't want her to go over to ABC. That would be the biggest loss for Bravo. But like you just said, seeing her in that environment, those Golden Bachelor men would be stunned beyond belief. Just like in Love Hotel, where she was having the time of her life, sort of holding court in ways you've never seen her before. She would be ruling over Golden Bachelorette.
I know. She's too cool for that show. She's too edgy. Yeah. It's too Disney-fied. They want some grandmotherly angel who is like, I'm looking for a second chance at love. And Luann would be like, who wants to fuck?
Yeah. She'd be like, get over here. When do we go to that Golden Bachelor villa that we're allowed to have sex in?
She's like, what's that? What do they call that? The like sultry palace or whatever.
Love. It's where they can make love. It's so
fuck
odd.
Tent.
It's so, it's called love. I forget. I forget.
The Paradise Suite or something.
Yeah, it's where they get to have sex so that when they proclaim marriage to each other, they will at least have spent one night of having sex.
It's very weird.
Some of the worst nights of my life were watching Bachelor and Bachelorette. It's so boring and not fun.
She'd be like, we're doing the Paradise Suite first night. I'm going to rule out based on that. But yeah, I always call me a prude, but me and Jimmy always talk about what an odd ceremonial practice it is for a show that's so Disney-fied in every other way to be like, well, you guys have unlocked the permission to have sex.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing.
Yeah, it is really odd, but it's just because the format of that show is just so like stale and boring that they even have that sort of concept within it. The original one, I watched the first season. They like put it on Hulu or something, and it was way more of like a documentary. It was so much better, more like the early seasons of Bravo, where this guy was like, I need to find love so bad. I'm horrible at it. Please let me find love. And they were like, well, we're going to find 7 women that you'd really like and set you up. And now it's like the most rigid structure you've ever seen in your life. It sucks.
It's a billion-dollar business. Was the first guy the Firestone heir?
I just remember I just remember what he wore, which was a big baggy suit, and I was like, this is so cool that it's like a time capsule. Do you remember him?
I was thinking of someone else.
He has a huge big gray baggy suit on, and he wears it the entire time. And then Chris, what's the guy's name? Chris Harrison. He had a big baggy gray suit on too, and it was like really funny.
Firestone guy I was thinking of was on the 3rd season. Oh my God, my brain is so rotten.
Mine is too.
I was just like, when you said big suit, I thought of Obama talking about how his suits from his first presidency were like bigger. And then for some reason I started thinking about the West Wing. And then I thought of a clip I watched of the West Wing about where they have President Bartlett call the Butterball turkey line. All of that happened in a microsecond. That's how my brain works.
That is so awesome. I want to go through every lead here. First of all, talking about big baggy suits, because I got a couple anecdotes about that. And then secondary, President Bartlett had to call the Butterball CEO for about what? To pardon
the
turkey? To pardon a turkey?
Ooh, that would be good.
Well, it wasn't because of that?
He was like, well, I got a video about the Butterball hotline, which still exists apparently. I think it was a New York Times like little mini doc on TikTok, and it's this adorable thing where they staff all of these people that I think it's open all year, but this is obviously their high season. And it's like 24 hours. They field calls. It's changed a lot because people are doing all kinds of crazy shit with their turkeys that they never did before,
Right.
you know,
Air
like
frying.
air
Yeah.
frying, whatever. But there are these turkey experts ready to go. And then on TikTok, it has a little search at the bottom. And so I got led down a rabbit hole, and it was like, there was a clip of the president on West Wing going like, there should be some sort of a hotline for getting help with your turkey. And then I think it was the Dule Hill characters like, there is the Butterball hotline. He's like, I love this country. And then he calls and he like pretends to be a Samaritan. And I honestly didn't watch the entire thing because it was kind of long, but I was like, that's great.
That sounds like when Sorkin had left the show at that point, I assume.
I was going to say that felt kind of Sorkin-y for him to get hooked on this little detail.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, no, it really does. And I'm glad to know that the Butterball hotline exists. And I'm going to watch that clip too. The last thing I'll say about that big baggy suit thing that you sort of were alluding to was that on Mad Men, to show John Hamm, Don Draper as they call him on the show, that he sucked, and he wasn't, I don't know, he was a different type of guy before he became an ad man. He wore these really big, shitty, no offense to him, big, baggy, shitty suits. And it's so clear that he has like a different type of cool suit now when he's Don Draper.
Right.
And it's like, what a interesting visual indicator. Because I don't know anything about suits, but you're just like, oh God, that suit that Dick Whitman was wearing sucked so bad. And look at the ones he has
now.
now.
He's so sharp. It's interesting that you completely organically brought up Mad Men, because I was going to bring up off the cuff that there's a lot of Mad Men news this week because they have fucked the transfer of what is it supposed to be, like the 4K HBO whatever of Mad Men, and they have the crew is in all the shots. There's like Peggy crossing the street, and it's like cell phone stores in the background. It's like an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, it's been really sticking in people's craws for the last couple days. Yeah, I don't like seeing those puke executors, on the side. That was obviously horrible. Obviously, this needed more care and attention. But after those 3 examples that you saw, people were starting to make up other examples. They were like, look at Don Draper's like hair sticking up on his head. And it's like, that's in the original edit. He has spiky hair for a day. You know what I mean? It kind of lost its luster pretty quickly. But I do agree. I don't like seeing SIM cards. Like, it's like, obviously SIM cards were invented 10 years after Mad Men ended.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's someone's only job.
Yeah.
How does this happen?
AMC, I hate to say this phrase, but AMC is rolling around like a pig in shit right now. They posted a bunch of, they're doing Nelson Muntz's ha, and they did Don Draper drinking a little whiskey and doing a kind of devious smile. Yeah, at HBO
I love
Max.
when the social media teams pop off. I'm still like a little millennial. I mean, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes because I've had that job, I'm like, good on you. You did what you were supposed to do, and you got praise in a meeting for that. So congrats.
You like the Wendy's ones, though? Where they're like, die in hell, you stupid idiot, or something. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want Wendy's to talk like that.
I saw that Bravo did a West Wilson, the thing where he has like his fingers up and he has his tongue out. They were like, flip it around, like Wicked Witch. And West commented like, I had to have someone explain this to me, but good job. And I was like, they killed it. If I came up with that, I'd be like, I did my job for the day.
All right. Yeah, you're right. I need to think about these.
It's the worst job on earth.
Yeah.
So shout out to our marketing manager, Little Turtle Cuties. The pressure now with how flippant the trends are and how stupid they are, and having to come up with a way to weasel your brand into something so dumb is literally the most mind-numbing shit you can imagine. It's soul-crushing. So whenever I see that someone figured out a way, I'm like, I appreciate you.
Wow, I really value that perspective. I was harsh on these social media marketing managers. Now I give them a lot of credit for that. That Mrs. Morrible, Wicked Witch. Yeah, we're in. Yeah, okay. So you're right. You changed my tune completely. I like that kind of stuff now. Anything? Okay, we got Suits. We got Butterball. We got Luann. We talked about Golden Bachelor. I think we're good there. This is very quick, but what about this Lindsay Hubbard, Mr. Bananas news?
Oh my God.
Where Lindsay and Mr. Bananas from
what is he from? Johnny Bananas. He was on Traders, right? And then is he from like the Challenge or something?
Yeah, I think so. He was on this podcast called raw and wild or something.
Not
And
raw.
he's I don't know what the hell it was. And he goes, I gotta say, man, when Lindsay Hubbard got a baby in her, I had to check the timeline because I thought that could possibly be my baby after we had sex with each other. And Lindsay Hubbard, you saw this on Instagram or something. She goes, "Dear Mr. Bananas, in case you don't know what the birds and the bees are, the last time I checked, you need to have sexual intercourse to create a baby. And let me be clear, my baby is way too cute to be a banana baby." So, I mean,
my baby's no banana.
Yeah, my baby is no banana. So she really shut the rumor mill down on Mr. Banana within I think a day. It couldn't even take over the news cycle before Lindsay said we never had sex. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, I remember that headline of them seen on the streets from that time when we were watching her every move.
Of course. It was like the fourth thing that happened after Carl and her broke up. We were we were dealing with Carl. Remember, Lindsay was throwing Carl's boxes out of his apartment and they were falling on the ground, like in Sopranos when Tony comes home and Carmela has found out that he had been cheating. We saw that, and then there was the dinner of team women on Summer
and they
House.
were all like, "Can you please not caption it that? I hate you." Thank you.
Team was hashtag Team Lindsay, and then the next day it was Johnny Bananas and her going into apartment to possibly have sex. But now we know, no, this probably, I guess, Johnny Bananas is just using her for clickbait potentially, and Lindsay Hubbard shut this shit down majorly.
Totally. She also was at some event with Dorinda, and it looked like they were real chummy. So we can potentially assume that the Traitors' beef of her violating her HIPAA rights and telling the Traitors producers that she was pregnant and potentially saving her baby from having to jump out of, I don't know, like a helicopter or something. They seem to be fine now.
Good. That's a huge one.
She should return to Traitors. Say what you will about Lindsay Hubbard. She'd be fun on there.
Oh, she'd be so good. You got to put her in that top 20 list of Bravo celebrities who'd fucking kill it. I'd be so proud of her. One last thing, that's good. I absolutely think, I just got to give Page Six credit for this. Their headline for this, they go, Bananas' claim gets mushed like a banana. By Lindsay Hubbard was the headline. So it was
that
really
was
funny.
Exactly what it said.
It said Bananas' claim gets mushed like a big banana. And then that's what Lindsay was.
Make banana bread with this headline. It's so mushed.
Yeah, so I give her credit, and you're right. Traitors casting, when you're listening to Turtle Time, Lindsay Hubbard, give her another chance.
Having Traitors in January is honestly so perfect. That's when it is, right? I think
so.
I kind of love historically. I remember that Queer Eye is always on in January, and I never watch anything on Netflix, but Queer Eye is kind of a guilty pleasure for me. I think it might be done now, but it was always on like January 1st when I'm just being a total slug and like organizing my closet on the 1st or hungover or whatever. So January programming always has a special place in my heart.
Mine too. Mine too. I was waiting to say yes. I concur with that. I can't wait to see what I load up in January. January is sort of a lost month for me. I don't think anymore. I'm just like I'm completely KO. Nothing matters, and so that's when you can truly just go absolutely nuts.
Have you, by chance, checked out Pluribus?
Oh my God. Thank you. Oh my God. Yes. No, I'm sorry. Yes. Thank you for asking. No, I haven't, but I love, you know me, I love Vince Gilligan. I'm the biggest fan of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but I just don't, Apple TV has not made it yet into my household in a consistent way. And so I'm waiting, but have you watched Pluribus?
Yeah. I think I've seen 4 episodes.
Whoa.
Me and Jimmy started it. He was reticent as always. I always have to convince him to watch anything the first time. He's always like, I'm not going to watch this. And then he'll be like, this sucks. And then he'll be like, one more. And he's like, even though it's bad, I'll watch another one. And then like the whole way through.
But does he kind of like it now?
I mean, he did tell me to pause it when he went to the kitchen last night. So that says something.
Whoa.
He wasn't like, you could just keep watching without me,
That really does. I mean, I would think, I respect Vince Gilligan in his writing and stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, if you like him, it's very him. It's very Breaking Bad. Like the camera stuff. It's in fucking Albuquerque, I think. I didn't fact check that, but it looks like it. I would assume he wanted to rejoin his crew or something.
And I'm a Rhea Seahorn head.
Yeah, she was amazing on Saul. She's good on this. She plays a curmudgeon. I was going to pose a question to you, but I don't want to spoil what the premise is. So once you watch it, let me know and I'll ask you. It's like sort of a like a existential question.
Holy shit. All right. I'm putting Pluribus on the docket. I'm putting Jay Kelly on the docket.
Yes.
And I can't wait. We're going to January when I'm kind of going through it mentally and I'm just putting stuff on. I'm going to watch all that shit. We're going to recap all of this stuff. Let me say this. What about, did you see this that Bravo posted about an hour ago?
Yeah.
Bravo officially released the reunion seating chart for Salt Lake City, and people are going absolutely nuts. The comments have a bunch of like fireworks in them, star eyes, huge. Some people are angry and doing the barf emoji. It's like big social media reaction to this thing. And so if I'm going to pull it up now, but it's kind of consistent with what I would imagine from this season so far. You've got Andy Cohen sort of taking his traditional place in the middle. And then Bronwyn and Lisa Barlow are the two first chair counters to each other, which I think Bronwyn deserves this first chair. I think she was third back blocking Whitney. Yeah. And Bronwyn had an amazing first season.
Yeah.
So I think it's great for her and Lisa to be sort of head to head here. Then we've got Heather Gay and Meredith taking up that the opposite chairs second. And then people I think are a little bit upset with this. They're treasured Angie K. Angie K and Mary are third. Yeah. And then lastly, we have Brittany and Whitney. I think this is Whitney's now fourth time being last chair. It's very consistent. That must, I think Whitney is someone who values where they sit at the reunion. And so that must be sort of interesting to get that, to go see where your seat is every single time.
I know we talked about it a lot last season, and it does feel like the road to friend of. Like, Brittany is finally in, because she wasn't fully seated last time, right?
No, I remember when they were all giving their toast at the end, she goes, what about me, and it was a little bit of a joke because she wasn't included. So now she's full time.
So she's weaseled in. And I feel like Whitney on the other side is like, if you keep sitting there, you're weaseling out. I also like that the image they used for Angie has her giant glasses on.
Yes, I love that too. And also, this is such a good cast that I wouldn't take too much stock in where I was seated no matter what. This does not mean that Angie K and Mary aren't the most powerful people in the world. This is just a cast where there's no discrepancy between the people, or there's no division between quality for the most part, except for Whitney, obviously. But I'm just saying, Heather Gay, who cares? Your second seat right next to Bronwyn. It doesn't really matter, but I am proud of, obviously, Lisa Barlow for getting first chair no matter what.
When it behooves us, we say, damn, you're last. That sucks. And when we like the person, we're like, there's only so many seats.
It means something, but I don't think it means as much as people say. But I know that because there is inherent value for the cast members in these seating charts, it's just kind of fun to think about it for a second. But I'd say perfect seating chart. I agree with every single decision here.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I want to throw a rogue wave your way because I texted you about it and you said that it would make you pissed.
Oh, boy.
And I want to get you fired up. So Quentin Tarantino he was on a podcast. He released his
Ellis's podcast.
Top 20 films of the 21st century. Is that what it was?
I think so. I only saw top 10, but
And he said again, which if you follow QT News as closely as I do, he's been saying this for a very long time, so this was not the first I've heard of it, but he went even further. This time he said, Paul Dano ruins There Will Be Blood and Otherwise, epic and perfect movie that should be one of the greats of all time. He said it should be a two-hander, but unfortunately Paul Dano sucks so bad that it really takes it down a peg, and I think he called him one of the worst actors in all of SAG and called him uninteresting. He really went after his personal character. I was like, what did he do to you?
Yeah. Yes, I saw this. This has been, in addition to Mad Men in 4K, this has been the biggest news in the world.
Twitter on fire.
Yeah. And so I'm going to start. I'm not going to, contrary to what I said, I'm going to try not to get too pissed. But I'm more pissed at the sort of outrage and reaction of the sort of, I'll say the Twitter reaction to this sort of huge Paul Dano stand-up that arises out of nowhere based off the kind of controversial things that Quentin Tarantino says. In no world for me ever would it be at all divisive for anyone in the world, to say I don't like Paul Dano's performance in There'll Be Blood. I've seen that movie 100 times. I almost forget that Paul Dano is in it in a way, because none of the moments that he is in are very memorable to me, except for Daniel Day-Lewis literally serving him his ass in every single scene, which is a part of the premise of the movie in a way. So for someone to think that a sort of I think it's, for me personally, I think that there is such a world in which someone could say that Paul Dano's performance is not very good based off watching There'll Be Blood that many times. And I think it's only shocking because someone of Quentin Tarantino's stature is still making controversial, huge, hot take statements like that. And it makes the world sort of go on fire every time he talks. But for me, that's not a very controversial opinion in any way.
But do you think that someone of his stature would know that that's going to be super, like, the way that a lot of times when you watch interviews with directors or actors even, and they're not going to say if they thought a movie was pure dog shit because they're in that community and it's just kind of uncouth.
So I love every uncouth statement that I've ever heard in any director's commentary and anyone talking about their filmography. John Carpenter talks shit about Steven Spielberg, like anytime you ask him about it. I love that shit, even if I don't agree with it. Obviously, I love Steven Spielberg, but I love that John Carpenter is brave enough to espouse his takes on shit. I think that is wonderful. The most like celebrated commentary in the world is Ben Affleck talking shit about Armageddon and just going fucking in on that, and we all love it. And you would have thought at that time that Ben Affleck was too good or too big to say anything controversial about anything. I think that we should celebrate when people want to have a hot take. I mean, for me, I like that and I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, so if you don't like him, obviously you'd be like, that fucking sucks. But I like him, and I read Cinema Speculation, and it's filled with his sort of I keep saying controversial, divisive opinions about filmographies, and he talks about Paul Schrader, hardcore being shitty and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate people being honest, even when they get to a level that Quentin Tarantino is at. And I want to also say just one quick thing is that this was not supposed to be Variety's top 10 list of Quentin Tarantino's film. This was on a paywalled podcast with Bret Easton Ellis, and he is ranting and podcasting like you and I do, how I'm ranting right now, where you're not checking everything you're saying. And I think that he was probably getting a reaction from Bret Easton Ellis, and he was just fucking going in, and he wasn't thinking that every single word he was saying was going to be parsed and picked up by entertainment.
Or he just doesn't care.
Or he doesn't give a shit.
He also said Owen Wilson, he's not a fan, despite Midnight in Paris being on his list, which I thought was a surprising pick. But he said it took him about 3 viewings to come around on Owen Wilson's performance in that movie, which I think you also do not enjoy. I wanted to bring up I saw, speaking of people saying crazy shit, Stephen King retweeted a meme that said, "What's a movie nobody can convince you is good?" And he said, "Raging Bull."
Whoa. Stephen King said that?
Yes.
But so I love that. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. Martin Scorsese heads are freaking out, crying right now, saying, "Oh my God, who could not like Raging Bull?" And I love the fact, I don't agree with half the shit that Stephen King, his taste in movies, obviously The Shining, his take on The Shining is the worst take in cinema. But I think it's fun to hear that from him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think everyone maybe infantilizes Paul Dano a little bit because he always plays, I don't know him in real life, but he always plays sort of soft spoken.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of like, come on, man. Like, he's Paul Dano. Like, be nice.
I guess so. I would have never, ever, ever thought that there would be this celebration of Paul Dano. I think his career kind of speaks for itself. I don't think he's
Wow.
very good in Fabelmans. That's probably the worst performance. I don't like him at all in Prisoners. I know you love that film. He's horrible as the Riddler, whatever the fuck, in that Batman movie. His performances,
Little Miss Sunshine, his
I
breakout role.
I don't remember that.
He's
And
good in that.
He's okay in Sopranos, but I'm just saying, there's a world in which someone could imagine that these performances are not good, right? I mean, Owen Wilson is kind of bad as a Woody Allen surrogate in Midnight in Paris. If you love Woody Allen, or I mean, oh God,
Yeah.
if you love Owen Wilson, like you can sort of. You can get into it if you want, but also I would never admonish someone for saying I don't like Owen Wilson's performance in Midnight in Paris. It's you know what I
Sure.
mean. But you tell me, because I ranted too long, and I got pissed, and I said I wasn't. How does it make you feel that for Quentin Tarantino to say things like this?
I do think it's a little mean. It's just like a little much. Sometimes I think he really, like, of course, I read his book as well. I've seen him do like a million Q&As. I've heard him speak a lot, and I'm interested in his thoughts and his sort of hyperfixation brain on, he knows, he's like a supercomputer for Hollywood knowledge. And I think it's interesting, and I don't always like agree with what he's saying. And I've been to plenty of movies that he programmed at the New Beverly where I'm like, what the literal fuck is this? Like, how dare you make me watch this? This is so boring and bad. Like, but he's like, for something, he's like, this has this actor who was on this Western in 1970. And so I loved it for this. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, I don't have to go down that rabbit hole with you. So I don't know. I thought it was a little bit like misanthropic of, like, as if he's not part of this community. But I don't know. Sometimes I want him to shut up.
Damn. All right. Well, I sort of value, people not just doing like PR speak all the time. Like, I find it obviously so boring when people won't say a bad word about anything. And like in the Bravo universe, when we go to BravoCon, we are all waiting with bated breath for someone to say a hot statement that's going to give us glee and so I appreciate that in other realms as well. And I get so tired of outrage, like I get so tired of outrage for the day or two that we have to suffer through it. And for some reason, the Paul Dano one, like getting mad that his favorite movie is Black Hawk Down. I like Paul Dano's performance fine in There Will Be Blood, but I see a world in which someone does not like it, especially when he's going toe-to-toe with Daniel Day-Lewis. Anyone would have their ass handed to them when they're going with the greatest actor in the world.
He tried to say that it should have been, I mean, obviously the timeline doesn't work out age-wise, but he was like, Austin Butler would have slayed that. And I was like,
I don't know about that, but obviously, like, I think that I was thinking of a comp of like Jesse Plemons, who I would think it would get the same roles as Paul Dano. And obviously Jesse Plemons is one of the best actors of all time. And if he was the right age, he would have fucking been amazing in that role. There are better actors that could have gotten it. I think Paul Dano has this sort of like mysterious quality to his performances where you really could read it as good or bad. I don't know what that is, what that line is for him, but I understand why Quentin Tarantino doesn't like it.
That Dano mystique. But yeah, I brought this up because right before we started recording, Maya Rudolph posted us a photo of Paul Dano and Daniel Day-Lewis from There Will Be Blood. And I'm like, oh shit, he's made an enemy in Maya Rudolph. How sad is that? I'd be really bummed.
Yeah. Well, let us know what you think, Turtle Time listeners. I'm
Dano
sorry.
head, Dano down.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it just comes down to I don't have a particular fondness for Paul Dano, so what can I say? But do you want to talk about, let's get out of here. I'm going to get in a better mood. I'm so sorry for ranting. Do you want to talk about, you want to talk about Southern Charm first?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
It was on first.
Yeah, it was on first. That's a good thing to do. This episode of Southern Charm was called A Novel Approach. And I loved this episode. I mean, my God.
I was thinking of you throughout. We love any novelistic references, and it's chock full. We get to judge everyone for their choices and perhaps lack of knowledge. I'll say Craig really down the fucking hole on this one in my level of respect.
I agree with you. It was we got to say it now because you just brought it up. I don't know what the hell Craig was thinking. It's indefensible because
it's embarrassing as hell.
Yeah, because I looked and I was like, okay, well, in those Peter Pan books that we've all read, obviously Rufio has made an appearance at some point, and it was like, no. Google goes, what the fuck are you Googling right now? You want me to use AI on this shit? No. Rufio is from Hook. It was created by Steven Spielberg or whoever wrote Hook, and I was like, that's a full miss. And he was even chat GPTing his answer. Yeah, it's like, Rufio was not from any book. You made a movie character, and I also think he wanted to look that's his favorite character in the world, and he wanted a sort of, I gotta say it, maybe a sexy costume.
Austen on Watch What Happens Live was like, he just wanted to wear eyeliner, period.
Yeah, he wanted to look hot as hell, and I think he had eyeliner, or I don't know, I remember when he was hot as hell as the mechanic or whatever, when they were doing the thing. So I feel like this had that sort of sensibility, but he blew it. It's not from a book, and everyone else was pretty, I would say pretty good for the most part.
Yeah,
I loved every single reference. And then the most shocking part of it is that if he would have dressed up like what ChatGPT recommended, Jay Gatsby, him and Charlie could have had the most beautiful moment in Southern Charm history arriving together.
Real bad.
And he could have done a classic thing where he could have looked out the window of the top floor of that party for a second as Jay Gatsby and seen all of them partying down below.
Yeah, I would have gone in a green screen suit as the green light from The Great Gatsby.
Oh, that would have been so good. That famous green light that Nick Carraway can't stop looking at. I think it's the start of the book. He goes, look at that big blinking green light. It draws to me such a big blinking light. That was amazing. I love this literary shit.
We'll go point by point on that. So let's just do the first part and then we'll really double down on that part. But I did like this episode. I thought it had, maybe it's just good when they have these parties where it's all leading to that and then you just get to make a meal of the interactions at the party, because that was the same as last week.
Totally. Yes. Having this freewheeling energy for about 20 minutes, like this party had, where they get to just show a bunch of stuff that's going on. And yeah, we have at the start, they kept partying at this Sally Sells Singles by the Seashore. What did you think of these blips of stuff that we saw?
I love that they're still having fun. It looks like they raged till 3 a.m. The house was a wreck after. It looked like the cameras went home at a certain point. It was just beer stands and beer pong and all of that after hours. Looked fun though.
Some really classic partying here. Whipped cream in mouth. Did you see that?
Wow.
Whipped cream, flip cup. You said keg stand. I was so proud of Shep for doing a big upside down keg stand. One of them was doing a gargoyle on the keg stand. You know what that is?
No. Oh, like you perch on it?
Yeah, we'll you and I will be doing a couple of those.
Are you going to have
soon.
that at your thing?
Absolutely.
Because I want to do that.
Absolutely. It's one of the most classic cake stand moves you could ever do. Some of my friends and I have invented some new sort of keg stand activity games you can play. And so Gargoyle, we didn't invent that one, but there's a lot that you're going to be doing pretty soon. So get ready. And then even the dancing that they were giving us a glimpse of, there was some pretty exciting dancing going on between these cast members. If you look at those clips and pause them like I did.
Love that for them. I feel like we can skip over. There's a get to know Charlie moment where she just reveals that she's really close with her family and her mom, and that she was raised in a traditionally Southern style in which her mom is like, were you pleasant and interesting at the singles party? It's very much like debutante vibes of you must put on your best behavior for the men searching for a female.
Yeah. Oh my God, exactly like that. It was exactly that sort of sensibility in a way. I thought that was kind of interesting to be like, those are the two coolest things you could be at a party: pleasant and interesting. I'm like, I'm gonna kind of remember that.
Yeah, she was like, did you smile? And I'm like, Mom, that's a trope now, is telling a lady to smile. We don't like that.
I would have said that too to my mom, but I want to try, but I am going to try to take this philosophy to heart. Pleasant and at least interesting. And then Charlie goes, "Do you think I am uninteresting, mother?" And she goes, "Sometimes you can be uninteresting." Do you think the mom was joking, or was she trying to say you need to get your interest levels up a little bit?
I think she was serious.
Wow.
In that pageant thing, you have to fill all those buckets. You have to have a talent. You have to have smarts. You can't just go and such as and so on or whatever that chick said. You remember that?
Remind me of that.
I don't remember if it was like Miss USA or Miss America or whatever, but they asked a girl a political question, I think, and she just vamped for a full minute, was like, and so on and such as, and like so, and as so it is. And it was like, it was a viral moment like 15 years ago.
That's really funny. No, I didn't even know. I've never hosted, nor attended, nor watched via television anything to do with pageants ever in my life. Not 1 second. And I don't know anything about them except maybe a viral clip.
I've been realizing right after, I think it was right after Southern Charm on Bravo, they showed Kamora Simmons she used to have a show like 15 years ago called Life in the Fab Lane. And then she has a new one that's called like Return to the Fab Lane. And I watched it and I realized that I always tell you this, but I watched every reality-based show, and that would include pageants, Victoria's Secret fashion show, like any special, like anything that might be water cooler. I was like, I'm watching this, and pageants fell into that category.
So is that where the main crux of your pageant knowledge comes from? Is those shows?
I think so. I also watched, like everyone, Toddlers and Tiaras, which is a whole other thing, which also relates back to Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh my God, totally. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, that reminds me of that Paul Dano guy in that film. So is it like well, I don't want to get into pageant culture and stuff, but like, has it moved past like? Because I feel like for a while it was like, this sucks. Like, don't do this, and we don't judge people like this, and we don't want people to be beautiful. But now, obviously, they're showing off other other personality traits that we value. But I'm just like, are we now like, this is just fun and silly, and we still allow it?
I'm sure it's been a while since I have watched them. I think some of them got rid of like the swimsuit competition or tried to make them more well-rounded and not so based on looks. But it's not a great area.
Yeah.
But I love glamour. I love a sparkly gown. I love a host.
Me too. I love a glamour, and I love a host as well. I guess what I'll say is that I enjoy the little blips of what pageant culture means when I watch it on Bravo shows, like when Rachel Leviss was like dying at the idea that her pageant days were over, and what that meant for her and what her personality was. She cried to Peter, if I remember correctly. And I think I'm going to get a big dose of it from Charlie, who takes a lot of pride in being a pageant contestant person.
It's true.
Yes. Next up, okay, we got to talk about Venita and Sally again. I am hoping, I don't know what plot lines we're going to have, storylines for the entire season. I'm hoping that it's not going to be so much oriented around what Sally will do with Craig and how Venita will feel about it. But we do get another scene sort of revolving around that. First of all, Venita comes to Sally's house. She walks in, and then they go to the pool to have a little talk about some of the shit that transpired at Madison's baby shower.
Speaking of pageant, she leaves her heels on when she walks from the house to the yard in her bikini, which I'm like, that's so glam to wear your heels with the bikini. But then the camera shot, I don't know what the hell was going on. They had her standing, and then Sally was already on the chaise, and they filmed through Venita's legs to show Sally. And I was like, why did they do that?
I think it was isn't that from The Graduate?
Yeah.
I think, isn't it when Mrs. Robinson comes and she goes, "You, sir, are very attractive."
They tried to get an homage in?
Yeah, I think it was, someone said, goes, I'm going for this. I'm going to do the graduate shot on Sally through Vanita's legs. I'm pretty sure.
It looked rushed and it sort of was confusing. So I'm like, at least do it right.
Well, what producers, though, are going to be like, I'll allow this. If you got the perfect graduate shot, let's take an extra hour. They're like, no, if you can do it.
Fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Yes, totally. If you can pull it off in 5 minutes, that's how much we're giving you to the setup. And they tried their best. Is it the graduate shot? Am I?
Yeah, I think that's like the poster.
Don't search graduate shot on Google. My God. Well, anyway, I think that's what it was. And then this is when they talk after that shot, that famous homage. Sally says, Vanita went to dinner or lunch with Molly and goes, guess what? Molly fucking hates your guts, Sally. First of all, Molly found out that you, Sally, told Madison that she was drunk at the baby shower. And I said to myself, that's a horrible, little tattletale move to be like if Madison didn't notice, if you get drunk at a baby shower and you want to get really, really drunk and it doesn't affect anyone else, you just cry in front of that one guy, Corey.
Yeah.
Who cares? That would never need to be told to Madison in any way. So I completely understand why Molly said, what the hell is Sally doing?
Snitches get stitches.
And that's a Turtle Time philosophy here.
We don't rat. Turtles don't rat.
Absolutely not. And then Molly also says, she goes, guess what? Also, I don't like this calling dibs on every Southern Charm cast member in the world. Sally's called dibs on Austen and is called dibs on Craig. And Molly, I think she's kind of alluding to the fact that if she wants to have a crush, Sally can't sort of say, hey, you're messing with my crush here, kind of like what she's doing to Charlie right now about Craig.
Right. And Sally's like, well, I hate that Molly's talking shit because she's texting me 24/7 like we're besties. So this is sort of, they are getting turned against each other either in reality or by way of people narking on what they have said about each other. And this is where, Sally's like, I do think a bunch of these guys are hot. I think Craig is hot. I loved being in his hot tub till 4 a.m. I'm not going to apologize for it. And Vanita's like, I do feel like you choose him over me sometimes. And if we're going to be good friends, I am going to need a little more respect. And Sally's like, I would never choose him over you. You have my word, which I'm sure will go sour quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I won't reiterate what I said, last week, but it takes a lot for me to get into the mindset of what the drama is here,
right,
between Vanita and Sally and Craig. Okay, we got to talk about this because I know Bethany Frankel's ears were ringing when she saw Madison and Austen go on a big crab date to King Crab in Charleston and order the captain's boils. Big buckets of fish and shrimp and crabs and lobsters.
Crab is in.
This is huge. This is the best version, besides Bethany in bed eating that big crab broil. This is probably the best version of going to King Crab type place and ordering a big bucket of crab wearing a bib that I've ever seen between these two.
I assume your algorithm isn't as cursed as mine, but I watch people eating a crab boil every 2 hours.
Really? So is it just because is it because it's a novelty, so you get to see when people want to film it and break those crabs' legs and put lemon in there and stuff?
There's something pleasing about it. It's the crack, the reveal, and then the eating. I don't know what the hell it is about me watching these mukbangs, but I like watching people eat. I don't know if that's sick or what, but
You're a pimple popper watcher too, right? Did we talk about that?
Sometimes.
Okay, yeah, I'm not that. I don't like noises. I don't like eating noises. Of course I don't like what I just said, which I shouldn't have even said. And yeah, so I don't get a thrill from that, but I kind of get the allure of wearing a big bib and eating a bunch of stuff for me to go do it. Right. I don't think I get visceral or vicarious thrill from it, but I would love to go to a crab broil with you if you ate crabs.
Oh, yeah. Let's, next time we hit a milestone, let's go get a thing where they pour all of the seafood on the table and you wear a bib and gloves. I love that shit.
Is it wrong for me to say that you kind of feel like royalty for a second by being able to eat a big
It's giving gout.
Yeah, it's giving what a king would do to get gout for a second. A big bucket of food, and you wear a bib, and it's endless. You know what I mean? Gluttonous in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe not
and
royal,
it's just the bag that it's in is just filled with seasoned butter. It's the most ridiculous just indulgence, and
Yeah,
I want
and
to go.
I wouldn't even. Oh, let's do it. I wouldn't even feel bad about leaving a couple crab stems in there. I would eat what I wanted, and then no one would ever know if I wasted food. Like
Yeah.
I just be like, hey, I wasn't really feeling that broiled lobster. I'm gonna leave that in the bottom of my bucket.
We didn't do buffet life at BravoCon this year because I usually go straight for the seafood. I'm like, no bread, no
Yeah,
carbs,
no
only
bread.
the high ticket
That's how they
items.
get you. The buffets I've been to, they go, here's the big bread section, and it's 12 feet long. And then they go, this is what we have in terms of non-bread. And it's like, you're trying to sway me to eat bread so I fill up, right? That's what
Yeah.
that's what
I'm
some of
like,
them do.
joke's on you. I'm going to eat 67 shrimp.
Yeah, I also say the joke's on you. I say joke's on you right when they're leading me to my table. I go, the joke's on you for what kind of stuff I'm going to do here. But this is, I've already said that I'm less enamored with the Austen, Madison. Like, I love them fine. I love them both. They're my favorite people in the world. But I think that they're playing into being best friends. And this didn't really show me the chemistry of a lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, I loved it. It was
Did you see they were on Watch What Happens Together?
And I'm proud of them as friends. I don't mean to say anything about this. It's just like I don't get the same thrill as others for being like, we finally have the best duo in history. Like,
Sure.
I get why they're friends.
Sure. Before I forget, Andy said that Austen and Kiki exchanged numbers at BravoCon, and Andy was imploring him to follow up.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine? I mean, that's not going to happen, but
so
they could have some
cool.
fun.
Oh, totally. Oh my god. Oh, absolutely.
Personality-wise, I'm not seeing it, but I would love that. I love it. Well, would I love it? Like, it's kind of not really a match.
I would love it if we're BravoCon 2 years from now, and they're like, yes, we made love to each other, but it fizzled out. I'd be like, that's awesome.
What if they just like got married?
That'd be so cool. We'd be happy. I'd be like, I didn't expect this, but I'm very happy.
Life is full of surprises.
Yeah, and then, well, speaking of maybe not getting married, Austen says, guess what? I think he stretched this relationship into the season.
Yeah.
No, not with ill intent, but I think that because it's easy for him to maintain and keep this relationship for a long time because he's not committed in a real way, that he let this bleed into this season, and he's kind of giving us he's giving us the warning, like, I don't know if I really like Audrey
the
that
second
much.
he said it out loud, you're like, well, you guys are done then.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. I kind of like, I'm wondering if I really would want to be with her forever. Am I supposed to be asking questions like that? And Madison's like, well, you shouldn't waste your time if you're not really into it. And maybe you should make way for someone that really takes your breath away.
Yeah. And I think that's good advice. And you don't want to. Even Audrey seeing this would be like, I'm done. Like, you were telling all your friends while you were eating crab broils that you weren't really into me, and were already having issues, and you were playing football with Sally. So it's over. And we're probably in a couple episodes with him and Audrey breaking up. Okay, really quickly, Patricia on FaceTime. Her butler, this was so funny. I go, that's a butler's pantry. Like, I saw it immediately, and then all of a sudden the door opens and a butler comes out of it, which we're so removed from butler culture and having butlers in fiction or in reality television that the fact that we actually get to see a butler coming out of the butler's pantry was a big deal for me. And this time, it's not food he's serving, although he does, cheese and crackers. This butler is giving Patricia access to FaceTime on a iPad and iPhone so she can call Whitney in London.
Yes. This was a nightmare to watch as someone who has had to help my parents with various technical tasks. He leads her astray. She says she wants to FaceTime her son. Yeah. Pretty simple request. I think she could figure it out. He goes, open Facebook. I go, that's not what you want. We can't be going down that path.
I go, are you just thinking of things that start with F on an iPad in terms of apps? Because there's no way you're FaceTiming through Facebook. I'm sure Facebook has a video platform embedded within it in which you could get access to somebody, but that's not what Patricia asked for. So Randy was not, I think his name is Randy, he was not giving the best technological advice to Patricia. So he has to go get her iPhone on a tray.
On a silver tray. And she just has to figure it out herself, which, she got to call him, but the iPad would have been better for the show.
Yeah, she wanted it on the iPad. It's not, I really thought it was disrespectful for Randy to kind of play a prank on her in terms of showing her Facebook first. But Whitney is having the time of his life. We know he's a total Anglophile. He's been to the King's brunch, and he's been to the wedding between the two the new king and his wife, and he goes, "Guess what, mother? Mother, Camilla is planning on decorating the entire wing of Buckingham Palace with Craig's pillows." And Patricia goes, "Good one, Whitney, but that would never happen." Like, he said something to purposefully sort of make his mom irritated and take a dig at Craig out of nowhere about his pillows.
I liked it. She was like, haha, like, I love my weird old son. And then she does point out, because her butler keeps giving her little pointers. He goes, "Do you want to mention this?
Yeah.
Do you want to mention this?" And he goes,
he's good after the initial stumbles, for
he's
sure.
like producing her FaceTime. He goes, "We got the plaque for Chauncey. Do you want to bring that up?" She's like, "Oh, good call." And they have this little brick for Chauncey the pug, who sadly passed. She's very emotional about it in the confessional. And I was like, oh, I forgot that Chauncey was a puppy on the show. I think it was a 10-year span of when she got him. And rip Chauncey. That was very sad. They're going to plan his memorial, so hopefully that's on the show. I'll watch that.
It absolutely will be, and there's nothing sadder. Patricia says, she's going through. She goes, "I can barely speak about this," which we know this feeling. It's the worst feeling in the world. And she goes, "You wouldn't even catch me talking about my dead husband like this." And I was like, "Damn, like
no way.
That hits hard."
Not the same. But speaking of pets, on a happier note, we finally get the thing I've been waiting for a year or however long this was. Austen is finally entering his cat dad journey. There's 2 segments about this. I feel like we can talk about the cat parts of both of them together.
Yeah, let's do it.
He calls Craig and he goes, "I know you will appreciate this. I'm going to get a cat. I really want one." And Craig goes, "Oh no, your relationship is in peril because my last 3 girlfriends have gotten a cat mere moments before breaking up with me." And they show the examples, and it's true.
That was awesome. I couldn't believe it. Not awesome for Craig, but it's so interesting that the last 3 relationships had the exact same thing.
They did it to prepare themselves to have something to take their mind off of their breakup. Like, he was thinking with Daphne or with whatever Naomi's cat or his other girlfriend, that he's like, this is a step for us together as a family. And then the girls are like, actually, you're out.
Yeah. Gizmo, Stormy, and Daphne. Right?
I think Gizmo was the original cat. I think she got another cat because there was a cat with a different name, but all the clips they showed were Craig with Gizmo, which I always loved at the time.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you this. Okay, so we're going to go to the next scene at Doolittle's, which is the coolest, pet store, I think, in Charleston. And you got to know that reference. Dr. Doolittle, sort of a major. And you know what? He is a literary figure. Did you know that?
See, he could have just done that.
He could have it was waiting for him right there. If he would have looked at the name for 1 second, he could have been like, Doolittle, Dr. Doolittle, is that a book? I could have a bunch of stuffed animals taped to me and be Dr. Doolittle for a second instead of Rufio. But instead, he fully flopped, as we mentioned. But I got to ask you, when they go into Doolittle's, what if you were, Austen said, "Amy, I'm going to Doolittle's. I'm getting a cat for the first time. I got a litter from Rodrigo, and I want to treat these cats wonderfully. What's your starter kit that you're getting at Doolittle's for Craig?"
Well,
I mean, that's Austen.
Yeah. I was thinking bold to buy all the staples at a boutique store like that. You're going to spend a pretty penny. Obviously, if you could afford it, shop local. But I'm like, you're buying like a litter box and like a carrier at a boutique. That's not what I would do.
All right.
I would go to like a Petco or something. God love him. Don't do Amazon. That's always bad. But that's obviously the cheapest way. But I was like, so I was a little surprised. They, of course, because it's Bravo, they always show the total. He spent almost $500. But I think Craig had some good choices for him. He was like, you got to get something with a bell for the toy. He had specific thoughts on the toy. He got him a little felt cat house. Also, regarding it being Rodrigo's cat having a litter, I think I know enough about him that he's like a rescue guy. Okay. So I think I think it's like an okay scenario where he probably rescued a pregnant cat or something, not an irresponsible situation where he randomly has a cat that was pregnant.
Okay. All right.
That would be a red flag for me, but I think he's like a rescue guy. So
okay. I didn't even think of that. I forgot to think about that for a second. So Craig did a good job. There's nothing that he missed. Carrier, Bell toy. What about that big flopping fish toy that
Ooh.
you have that now I got a copy of? I think
Yeah,
that would
I
kind of
gave
entertain a cat.
Riley's daughter a cat toy for her first birthday because when she came to my house once, she liked it, and I was like, "This is all I know to give a child."
I thought that. I mean, it's one of her favorite toys of all time. It has a big flappy tail and it's perfect and fun. She always kisses it when we
Aw.
say, "Where's your flappy fish toy?" Okay, so all right. Well, I thought as a person who doesn't own a cat, I was like, "Good job, a bell toy carrier." He goes, he doesn't even have a carrier for it, and the guy goes, "Oh my God, let's get you that right away."
Yeah, he's like, "Hard shell or soft?" And he's like, "Oh my God." I like soft because it folds up easier. The hard shell ones take up a lot of space. But yeah, 2 girls. He's went with not 1 but 2, and Piper and Martini, adorable names.
Those are so adorable. Those are great. Those are going to be great cats. I haven't seen. I follow Austen, but I haven't seen what he's posting with his cats. I don't know if I miss them or what.
He
But
seems like a good cat daddy. I think it'll be a good first step for him to have a more domestic life.
yeah.
Okay, do we have, I mean, I guess we have to talk about Craig and Charlie because it's
Yes.
part of their flirtation. He visits her at the art gallery at which she works.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got to talk about this. This is like a scene straight out of a rom-com where someone goes and says, "I need to buy art," and the art dealer is someone that they're attracted to in some way. Craig comes in wearing a scarf like he's about to buy art, and he asks the classic art. Do you ever see Double Jeopardy?
I think I have, but I don't remember the ins and outs.
It's sort of very similar to this. In the first 30 minutes or so, I forget about the art part of it. But anyway, he goes, "What do you want? Do you want a piece that you absolutely love, or do you want it to be valuable at some point and you grow to love it?" She goes, "Love comes first in art."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What if I hypothetically wanted a big, huge picture of a tiger or a panda bear or a penguin?" And she goes, "Well, I don't have anything like that at all, but those are interesting, choices, especially if it's a watercolor version of it." So it kind of fun, like a little, what's that called?
Yeah.
Repartee?
Yeah, he's joking about, do you know the health and age of some of these artists? Because if they die, this is going to
Yeah.
go through the roof. And she's like, "That's terrible." And they're having a flirtation, which, I mean, sure, Craig, have your fun.
Yeah. Yeah. He goes, "I don't want this artist to die, but how old are they and what kind of malady might they pass away from?" And there's a little bit of a cute humor. There's a one part where he's grabbing a bunch of this water balloon art and he's squeezing the shit out of it. I was like, "Don't break that water balloon art. It could probably splash with water." But this was a very kind of, one of those scenes where you're like, wow, what could happen between.
Stunning shit. Um, Another one we can rip through is that Shep goes to his parents' storage to buy. Apparently, he bought a $3.25 million house on Sullivan's Island, which I couldn't tell. Is that his main house? Like he's moving, or is that like a secondary home?
Well, he probably has multiple homes because he has hundreds of millions of dollars or whatever. But his sister and brother also got big statement homes, and he's been probably living in $1 million homes, God forbid. And so he's
Yeah.
like, "I finally get my big, huge home because I'm the time of my life when my parents probably released a big dump truck of money for him to use as a way to sort of maybe make him progress through life if he had a big $1 million home." But I did love when they go to this big warehouse of all of the treasures from the Boykin eras, and it's like huge statues, a big fish, and then I thought a big huge fish that you could put on the wall, and then there's this total kind of, I would say it's an allusion to the portrait of Dorian Gray, which it's
Comes up again later.
teen Shep sitting there. They take a big, huge blanket off of a portrait on the wall, and then all of a sudden, Rodrigo and his dad and Shep are stunned because there's this photo of Shep young golfing.
There was more than one.
There's 2. I think they did a sort of brighter version and a sort of more somber version. And they go, "Look at Shep's eyes." And I was like, that looks exactly like the Dorian Gray portrait that I remember from his attic. And it was just, for an episode that had so many literary references, what are the odds that there would be a portrait of Shep hanging, in a warehouse like that? I just,
Yeah.
I thought that was very, very sort of literary in a way.
Beautiful. And so he has a $3.25 million house. The next scene is Madison and Brett showing their new house, which was $3.9 million. And I'm
Wow.
like, Madison, is that just her Bravo and like influencer money? Because that's like very expensive, especially for Charleston. Like, that's a lot. A $4 million house.
I think that Madison has reached the upper echelon of Bravo celebrities to where it doesn't even matter how long she's been on the cast of Southern Charm. She is a top 20 Bravo celebrity in terms of endorsements and esteem and whatever Q score that people use to influence these decisions. So I bet half of this, comes from her being, a major cast member on the show. Now she's almost considered an OG, like the 4 OGs that we, already know. And then I think that her endorsements and everything else she must be raking it in from that and able to afford a $4 million house.
Yeah. I don't know how much her last home sold for. I didn't look that up. So maybe she covered like half, but like $4 million. I'm like, her mortgage must be like $40,000 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, I just think I'm me. I'm always like, we underestimate how rich everybody is. And
no,
I really
I think
do
she's cash or house poor now. There's
don't-
there's no way she makes that much. That being a Bravo person should not give you a $4 million house. I think
she has a net worth of I bet you she has a net worth of $15 million. I'm telling you. I really do feel like everyone is just much, much richer than you would imagine. And Madison, okay, all right, we've talked about this many times.
Look at the Vanderpumpers, how fucked they were by buying $2 million houses.
They were much worse with their money overall, and they had. You're right. That's a good point to make, I assume, but Madison has just consistently been making so much money since she appeared on Southern Charm, and I feel like she is like the holy grail of endorsements, and she's always working. Like she subsidizes her income tenfold with everything that she does outside of the Bravo universe. But I wanted to say one take, which I don't think you'll think this is that good or interesting, and maybe I won't say for very long, but it was interesting to me for Southern Charm that you and I sort of are watching them buy homes, and it's like, of course. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever. It's out of their price range, but it's like, it makes sense for the show.
She's a hairstylist.
Yeah. But then in Vanderpump Rules, it was like the death knell for all of them when we saw them grabbing the drapes and talking about their houses. It was like, Jeremiah and everybody and Alex Basker was like, we got to fucking end this thing. They're buying $1 million homes. It's like, it's such a bummer that the Vanderpump Rules construction was that they were poor and striving and existed in a restaurant environment versus Southern Charm, where we allow our cast members to be the richest people in the world and we don't bat an eye. It's just all about the sort of premise of the shows that didn't allow us to grow with the Vanderpump Rules cast like we can with the Southern Charm
Shep,
cast.
I mean, specifically, most of them. The thing is, we know that Madison doesn't come from means, so that one doesn't really make sense, but we have to just be like, whatever. But Shep, we've always been like, he has mailbox money, like he's like a rich boy.
I just mean that it's not even a thought for the most part, that our cast members on this cherished show would be millionaires, because it's more, I guess, about wealth. But who cares about that? We didn't say that at the end of the conversation, Craig does ask ChatGPT to be Jay Gatsby or Dorian Gray, and he confuses and thinks that, which this is an easy mistake to make. I really do think he thought that it was the Gray from 50 Shades of Grey, which I forget that guy's last name or first name.
It's what Gray?
Christian Gray?
Christian Gray, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so anyway, he's like, and it's like, Dorian Gray, Christian Gray. I would think maybe the 50 Shades of Grey guy, but I
don't think he knew about Dorian Gray at all.
No, but you know what? That's a lesser love. Like, you and I talk about it all the time, and we love Oscar Wilde, but that's not the 50 books that everyone knows, like Old Man in the Sea. I mean,
I'd say it's pretty, hot on the tongue of...
It's hot on the tongue. It's hot on our tongues for sure. It's always on the tip of our tongues for sure. But I don't know. I think it's in the outside of the top 100 that everyone knows. Mice and Men.
Well, you can give him all the credit you want, but ultimately, when he had to make a choice, he was Rufio from Hook, which I would expect from a maybe 8-year-old.
I think you're correct in that. Okay, are we at Whitner Party?
Yes.
Whitner said Whitner's doing a great job.
Whitner seems cool.
Yeah.
He's like, my family always has theme parties. He said his mom like rocks and is really fun. And I'm like, all right, get her in here.
Yeah, he goes, she's an anarchist. And then he goes, she's so anti-establishment, she barely even adheres to the norms of the establishment. And then they show a photo of her and she's got her tongue out and she's doing punk rock sign with her hand. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, that's what I like to see.
Yeah, and then his name is Bacchus. And I go, what the hell is Bacchus? Are we
wine god?
Yeah. It's Dionysus, I know Dionysus, the Greek god, but Romans and Greeks were really stealing a lot of shit. I think Romans stole a lot from the Greeks, I gotta say. Because they wanted their own god of wine and partying. No offense to... I don't know who stole from who, but I think Romans stole from Greeks. But Bacchus is just a rip-off version of wonderful Dionysus that we all love. But I think that it's just cool that Whitner named his dog that.
Yeah, he seems cool, more well-read than Craig. For some reason, Vanita is the de facto party helper. She has to show up 2 hours early to everybody's party and put the frickin' tablecloth on. I'd be like, can you hire someone? I have other shit to do.
Yeah, I agree, because we just saw that with Sally, because she really had to work for Sally's party and had to go to the store with Rodrigo to buy stuff for Sally's party. So maybe
that's my own fucking problems.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we have missed edits of party planning being something that Vanita is drawn to, and that's something she knows, or maybe we forgot that as part of her. But anyway, Whitner and Vanita are friends and fun, I thought. And Whitner lets us in. They did a good job casting Whitner, I want to say again. He goes, guess what? I'm kind of like JT, in which I had a marriage 2 years. In 2023, we were about to get married, and she goes, no couples therapy, nothing. I want out right now. And he was left heartbroken. So we don't have all the details, but we know that there's this past that he has, romantic past that kind of left him in the dust. And he's not dating very well, he says.
Yes. Okay, so then people start arriving. Vanita's already there. She's Medusa, which I'm like, am I ignorant? Like, what book is that?
Is she Odyssey? That's one of the early. That's one of the early villains. Let me see. Odyssey. This is what literary work is Medusa from? It definitely has to be literary work, because what the hell else would it be?
Right.
Medusa has been in Theogony from Hesiod, which we've both read, and then Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. So it's
the earliest work.
That's to pull from the earliest works, and then Whitner.
Who's gonna play Medusa in the movie?
Oh my God, that's the casting I think that Christopher Nolan is keeping completely.
Anne Hathaway, maybe.
Oh, that would be so good. And then Whitner is Hemingway, as we love to know him from The Sun Also Rises, I think. I'm almost positive. And Bacchus is the bull that Hemingway, or the character in it, becomes enamored with, because he loves bullfighting so much. So pretty good so far.
Yes, I know you loved this one. Molly walks up, does a full "you shall not pass" Gandalf moment.
It doesn't get much better than this. As someone who all of my friends were various Lord of the Rings characters for one Halloween, this was really, it was almost too much for me. It was almost really like, it was getting to fan fiction levels by the time each new literary character came out. I was like, Gandalf is already pleasing me to death. The fact that Molly does "you shall not pass" and she went all out. And then Shep comes out dressed as my favorite character in all of fiction, pretty much. My favorite book of all time is Lonesome Dove. I forgot that Shep loves Lonesome Dove so much. So he's Gus McCrae, and he tells everybody, hey, I'm my favorite character from Lonesome Dove. I go, God damn, this is hitting.
McMurtry head.
Total McMurtry head here. And he identifies with Gus McCrae. Have you read, you've not read Lonesome Dove, but have you even watched that mini series?
I have the tape.
Oh.
Or it might be 2 tapes. So it's on my shelf. I need to rip into some McMurtry for sure. It's on my list.
It is I just think one of the most entertaining books you can ever read. If you only read one Western in your life, it really is the best, I think, encapsulation of that sort of the mythology of the Western. And then it's also just so entertaining that you're stunned. Every single page has some of the coolest shit on it. And then after that, Sally comes in, and I'm like, holy shit, kissing Kate Barlow from Holes.
I was a little under impressed. Again, a child's book. That my take was that that's the last book she read.
Really?
Actually, I don't think she's even read the book because she goes, "You haven't seen the movie Holes?" And she goes, "It was a book first." And I'm like, "You just showed your ass. You just saw the movie," which I think Patricia Arquette plays that character.
Oh, totally. Oh, Kissing Kate Barlow. Oh my, who can forget? Her husband dies and she starts putting lipstick on, and before she kills someone, she gives them a kiss, and they wake up or they die with lipstick on their faces. Have you read the book or seen the film?
I've seen the film. I had the DVD. I was a big Shia head.
That's wonderful.
And she was like, what? I was gonna say, I was trying to remember what award the kids' books get, like the Newbery Prize. I'm like, she was trying to be like, it has a Newbery Prize. It's a good book.
And Shep's like, Holes?
Yeah, he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was born in like 1979.
He was probably, so for someone who was 12 when Holes the book came out, he was 17, and he's not going to be reading Holes. He's 5 years older than me.
He was on to bigger and better things.
But I gotta say though, I don't know, that to me, I was maybe you're right, but also
maybe I'm being a snob. I feel like it's like, when you choose your letterbox for or whatever, you kind of are deciding whether you're gonna throw
yes.
do the entertaining bone or the snobby bone. This is your chance to do that. Of course, Shep, I think it's authentic to him, but of course his choice was a little bit, like he's red for sure. And then on the other end, Craig is a complete and utter failure, like below 0. And then Sally, I would say, is like a 1 out of 10.
All right. And, and I think I was more just... like, I was just shocked to see, I guess, Kissing Kate Barlow represented because I've read that book as well. So it kind of was fitting into the pattern of like, oh my God, I know every literary reference so far. Sure. So it was kind of fun for me. But anyway, I agree with you completely. Maybe could have chose someone else. But, some of the other ones are also like low-hanging fruit in a way. Sure. I mean, Hemingway, Gandalf, like, no one is really giving a big peek into their deep reverence for literature.
Yeah, I guess I could go equally as hard on Austen for just going with a Harry Potter character, but because he was in drag, he gets extra points because it was like funny.
Yeah, it's funny. Molly, when she sees how Vanita and Kissing Kate Barlow are, she goes, some girls are Vanita and Sally, and some girls are dressed like Gandalf. And I was like, that is really funny. Good one for Molly. Austen comes in dressed as Hermione, and he goes, 10 points for Gryffindor. And I was like, I don't think Hermione ever says that. The teachers or Dumbledore say that too.
Right.
Gryffindor.
Yeah, she's not sanctioned. Also, Rod, I think we can now deduce that he has a t-shirt making kit because he wore one last week that was like, it's giving day drinking or whatever. And then this week it was, I can't pretend I'm Don Quixote.
Yeah. Yep. He has one of those lettering things. It said, I can't wait to start day drinking on the last one. And then, this one, pretend I am. He said,
go get that little mustache and goatee and a stick and a little horse, hobby horse.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of dressing up. I'm not very good at Halloween ever. I did get to be Frodo Baggins one year. That was the thing I'm most proud of. But like, if I was on a show where there was a costume party, I'd do something because it is like, it's a major motivating force to participate, especially if it's going to be filmed.
Right. Did you think about what you might do?
I didn't before. I would have wanted to be Frodo Baggins again, or so. I would have been like high-fiving Molly. I would have been like, thank God there's someone else from Lord of the Rings here.
Or you're like, I was Gus McCrae.
I would have wanted to be Gus McCrae. I didn't think about it. I would have probably, if Lonesome Dove is as I say, my favorite book, I would have liked to be someone from that. Maybe I could have been Captain McCall, I think the other character in that. Okay. All right, and then Craig blows it, and he's bummed out the entire time when he shows up because not only is it wrong, and from the Steven Spielberg 1991 film Hook, also no one knows what the fuck he is. Not Charlie, not Sally. And you can tell he's disappointed in himself that this costume got the reaction that it did. This is his life without Paige.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
this represents Paige's, if she watched this episode or got sent a clip, she goes, "Oh my fucking God, Rufio." That's not even from
Embarrassing.
J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan books at all.
Yeah, did you not see Finding Neverland? Um, and then, so as we already said, because ChatGPT was like, Craig, it would be cool if you were Jay Gatsby. And he was like, apparently that was too much for him. But then Charlie shows up as Daisy Buchanan, and it would have been such a win for him. He doesn't even mention it, but I was waiting for him to be like, fuck, I almost did that.
I wanted him to say, fuck. Fuck, that would have been perfect. That is a rom-com.
Yeah.
That's just like going to the art gallery and then like he's a snob or something. And she goes, "You're a snob for art." And he goes, "Well, fine. Then I will go to the art gallery next door." And then they come back to the same Halloween party and they go, "What the fuck are you dressed as?" Gatsby's, just like this. Do you remember in We Came Together when they both, it's serendipitous, they both dress in Benjamin Franklin costumes? It's just like that. Do you remember?
Yeah. And then Stabler from Law and Order Special Victims Unit like shits his pants in the
unfortunately there's a little bit of a mishap with his costume and he has to take a shower. He takes a shower and he's wearing a robe. And then Madison gets, obviously the viewer award. The viewer award, if we were doing MTV Movie Awards for best reaction from the audience, obviously Madison wins because she is a literary figure that I didn't know too well, but once she explains it, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. You're Shep Rose from his book.
His book, Average Expectations, Lessons in Lowering the Bar. We should read that.
Yeah, Shep must have really had a time. He was getting spin-offs. He was getting a book. Like, I don't know if people have the same reverence for Shep as they once did. I was like, you got a book early.
Relationships or whatever his show was called.
Relationships. And then Shep is really tickled pink. He's like giddy, smiling ear to ear. He thinks it's so sweet. Him and Madison, they had some rough history back. He was rude to her and shit. He thinks that this is such a nice homage to him. He's squealing with delight. And then she even has a what are these called? A necklace with a teeth of a fish on it to give to Whitner, as if she's Shep bestowing gifts.
Yes. Okay, so then the final drama of this is just for essentially no reason. Craig and Austen get into it. Austen is just talking shit about Craig flirting with...
He's being a stinker. Can I say it?
Yeah. But I'm always down with Craig slander.
This is a different perspective you and I have. I think Craig is one of the Bravo celebrities that you and I have a real different stance on. And I felt like Austen was being unnecessarily mean. If my friend was doing this at a party, then I was picking up on weird digs for no reason after dressing up as characters together at an hour before. The insults that Austen is saying don't even make sense.
Yeah.
Craig is just like, he's bummed that he's Rufio. He's like, this costume fucking sucks. He goes, God, I blew it. He goes, let me at least make shots because, God, this sucks. And then he's pouring the shots and Austen goes, and Craig says a funny thing. He's like, Sally doesn't like the shots I make. He's like, it's a callback or Easter egg for them. And Austen goes, probably because they're only served when you're in the hot tub together till 4 a.m. And I was like, what does that mean? What is the dig here? It's just a reference to something that Craig did, and I am the exact same type of person. Maybe this is why I still like Craig, because Craig's pissed off annoyance is exactly what I would have done if my best friend was needling me for that long. He goes, listen to Austen being so fucking jealous over there. And he mocks him and he goes, oh, Craig's hot tub. And this sets Craig off like a 8 out of 10 on the Craig rage scale towards Austen.
Yeah. He's like, you're just jealous because you're locked up with your kittens. Yeah. And Austen's like, you've been locked up for 5 years and all of a sudden you want to come out and have fun. And Craig is like, you're hating on fun. And he goes, happy people don't tear people down. And they're just going back and forth.
He does. He says, He says at one point, he goes, you don't know yourself, right? He goes, you're extremely bitter and you don't know yourself. And I was like, damn, if someone's throwing those out. That. Yeah, Craig says that to Austen. He was really kind of going deep with Austen because Austen had revealed to him at that ChatGPT dinner that he goes, I kind of miss being single, which is a trigger for Craig because Craig wants to be back with Paige so bad. That was the love of his life. He hates being single. So it pisses him off that Austen is kind of disparaging his relationship by fawning over that. So then Craig uses that as ammunition against Austen. Also, I want to say that the sound or the quote of Craig when he goes, I'm having late night parties with everyone and it's been a blast. And he goes, so for you to hate on fun is silly. He kind of sounds really sad when he's saying it. So it's kind of just it's a very funny quote out of context because he doesn't sound like he's actually having that much fun because he's pining for the days where he's in a relationship again.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of weird. He's trying to say, I'm back in the mix, like Party Craig is back.
Yeah.
And it's like, we literally just came off, I've said this already, but we came off of his high and mighty season where he told everyone he had a real problem and that they weren't being good friends because they weren't honoring how serious his problem was and that he, Paige really improved his life so much and he was a different person now and all of this, like, that's all we heard for like a year. And then now he's like, actually, like, I'm trying to like figure out how to be fun Craig again. And it's like, I'm curious how this road will go, if he's going to end up going too far and we're going to have to be like, you actually do have a problem, or if it'll just be kind of normal and we'll be like, all that was bullshit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, and I agree with you too. And there's such there's a hypocrisy here, with Craig, especially how he was talking about his relationship with alcohol last season. I just felt like Austen was being needlessly annoying to Craig in this instance. So I would have had a similar reaction to my friend. So I'm on board with Craig having this, but it does get awkward because no one else is even talking. You could hear a pin drop and it's just Craig ranting and screaming, like multiple clips you've seen of him. So it kind of fits perfectly in Craig's reel of having that sort of anger. And then he goes, I want you to be happy. I want happiness for you. And then Austen says, well, I want happiness for you, you dick. And then Craig leaves. And then he goes, what a fucking loser to Austen. I was like, damn.
There was also earlier when Madison was celebrating her $4 million house. She's like, this is a huge win after I got called white trash for years. And there was a clip from that reunion where Craig was like on Adderall and drunk or whatever. And he goes, you're a trash can.
Yeah. Oh my God. How far their relationship has come. I think they all obviously love and respect Madison so much. Madison's there. I wonder how she'll feel about her two best friends fighting like this. Oh, and then like Rodrigo had a great reaction. Shep had a great reaction because when Craig reveals, he goes, you told me you were jealous of being single. That's the big reveal for all of them. So they're shocked to hear it. It's sort of like, it's a big thing for Craig to
out him.
To out him as that.
Also, the last thing I'll say is that on Watch What Happens, they sort of did a game where it was like, tell us why Southern Charm is better than Summer House or something like that. And Austen was like, I mean, goes without saying, we have a better theme song. And Andy goes, Summer House doesn't even have a theme song. And I was like, bitch, yes, it does.
Yeah, Andy, what the hell are you talking about? The one that goes,
we never stop.
Feeling the sunshine.
I'll show you the way.
Andy,
I'm like, you weren't there. I was there.
Yeah, you need to remember the theme song, but
that's a hard. I mean, Babadook is like you can't beat it, but
it's one of those things where I love ranking stuff. I'm the biggest ranker in history, but even I say they're perfect shows. They're both 10 out of 10s. I would never even try to say one is. I mean, I might say Summer House is better, but I love Summer.
But what about the theme songs?
Babadook. Babadook is. Oh my God, Babadook might be the best theme song of all time. I mean,
especially when they use it, they reveal that they have more to that song, or they use different parts. Remember, like it would be like, he's a regular Joe Blow, and you're like, oh, where did that come from?
Oh, absolutely. We haven't even really, I don't think, uncovered even half of that wonderful Babadook song of all the things that person is referencing in terms of what is it? It's like what he's doing versus what she's doing. I think there's a lot more
honey than any honeybee.
Yeah. But they're both wonderful shows, and I'm tired of this rivalry. It's time to come back together. Okay, speaking of coming back together, you and I are coming back together to talk about the premiere of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, we have to move on.
We do. I think this has been an hour of
we fucked up our timing, but I think, Beverly Hills I don't think we so much need to talk about like every single thing that happened, but more the vibe on being back, how it feels. Rachel
Good.
Zoe.
Let's talk about the vibe.
Okay.
Let's talk about the feelings. Let's talk about that kind of stuff because we're not going to go through this like that. Doesn't warrant that. But this was a wonderful premiere. I realized deep within me, despite whatever we said last season about Beverly Hills treading water, or whatever it was, that I love this cast, and I was so happy to see them back. The minute Dorit is giving Bose a $2,000 Hermes blanket as a gift, I go, holy shit! There's a certain aesthetic here that I really gravitate towards, and I love Dorit. I love Erica Jane. I love Kyle Richards. I don't want them to change this cast. I think Bose is an amazing addition. So I was having fun sort of just getting reacclimated to the cast again. And that's what this episode was about. And then, like you said, Rachel Zoe is a great addition already.
She surprised me in how she went there a couple of times. I was like, oh, she has a little more chutzpah than I realized. I mean, as you know, I watched her show through and through, was a big fan, but I wasn't sure how it would translate to being outside of business. I think that something about her divorce radicalized her because she has a little more edge than she did before, I think.
Yeah. And I felt like she was able to sort of get away with being a new person and being very natural and asking questions that just you or I would ask if we were sitting down at a table like that and we got to pick the brains of the cast members. I never felt like she was being too pushy or a producer puppet. I kind of felt like she was just being kind of outspoken and being like, PK fucking sucks.
She's what Jenna Lyons should have been, where people defer to her as a power player. Like Dorit is going to like lick her ass. She's like the fashion queen of LA. Like she's a respectable, formidable person. Like even Erica Jane got a little tongue twisted meeting her. Like she's a powerful person and knows every celebrity in LA. So despite the fact that she's like a reality TV person, I think she comes in on either equal ground or higher ground, you know?
That's the right comparison there. That is what they wanted from Jenna Lyons completely. I felt like Rachel Zoe was so calm. I felt like I loved her scenes already where they show her with Kathy and then they just show her home life with her son. I don't think you get a better, for me who doesn't know her, I couldn't have had a better introduction to her. I thought she was amazing. And she kind of leads the charge naturally at the end when she goes to Kyle Richards, who in my world, Kyle Richards is the center diamond holder. And it's like, we don't ask questions of Kyle. You don't say that. Don't talk about Mauricio. I was scared. I was like, whoa, this cast knows we don't ask certain things. But Rachel Zoe is coming from a place of like, I'm getting to know you. I get to ask fun questions. And then she goes, you need to get out of your house, Kyle. 3 days a week. You got to get out. You're watching too much true crime documentaries. You got to go out 3 times a week. Force yourself to. You need to have a hot girl summer. And then it's a rallying cry naturally for all the cast members at the end where Dorit goes, can I have one too? And Erica Jane goes, I'll take one. And it's like, that was fun. Like that was a fun spirit.
Well, yeah, it's like, I feel like last season, both Kyle and Dorit were really sensitive about their divorce and the idea of their husbands moving on. It was sort of it was like taboo. And at this point, they're like, there's nothing to hide. Like we're well into this journey. And then Sutton now reveals that her ex-husband, they've been divorced or getting divorced for a long time now, but he went even further and went to the Catholic Church to get it completely annulled, despite the fact that they were together for 17 years, which I didn't know was an option. I mean, I guess in the eyes of the church is different, but I was like, what the hell?
I said to myself, Christian Grey.
That's so rude.
I go, Christian Grey, that's going on your permanent record for the rest of your life. 17 years with 3 children? 2?
At least 2.
2 children. Yeah, it's so funny to not know how many kids Sutton has.
She doesn't show the boy.
No. But I'm just like, what are you talking about? The Catholic Church, don't get me wrong, Catholic Church, but
don't waste their time.
You gotta.
The Pope is busy.
Listen, I love annulments and I love the concept of them, but you can't annul a marriage after 17 years. And they go, Christian thought that it'd be better for our relationship to strike our marriage from the godly record. It's like, yeah, right. What the fuck are you talking about? And then Reba's like, are the kids bastards now in the eyes of the church?
She's so nuts.
Will they be bastards? And he goes, no, they were able to put a asterisk next to the annulment and be like, these kids were from a marriage marriage that was etched off stone, but they do still come from a home of wedded parents. I'm like, whatever the hell you guys got to do over there.
Is little Porter gonna rot in hell?
Yeah, and Reba is so sweet. She's really we're kind of going.
She
through
has
it a lot,
3
but
kids.
Three,
Philip,
I knew.
James and Porter.
I think I said 3 first, and then I
you did.
backtracked. But yeah, okay. So let's just say big headlines. Reba's back. Sutton and Reba's relationship.
Reba's back, baby.
Reba's back, and she is still doing
Muzzy
everything.
1.0.
Yeah, yes. But they, again, like kind of Muzzy and Bronwyn a little bit, whatever happened last season got Reba back in the good graces of Sutton, or the reverse. And now they're talking all the time. Reba's there for the premiere. Reba's the new Avi, people are saying.
Right. Yeah, Avi's out. Reba's in. I didn't realize that they were really going to make a meal out of Avi's departure as much as they did. They brought it up like 3 separate times, and I'm like, that's just to slander Sutton and make her look bad, because there's no way that anyone cares. I do
actually. I am the percent of viewers that do think that Sutton brought Avi to be a sort of Butler-esque figure enough to where he was in the Sutton's characters. That is someone sitcom characters.
Foil.
You have to address it at least. And I do think, though, obviously Kyle and Dorit are purposefully poking at it because they know that there's probably something that went awry, and Sutton will not say. But I know Sutton enough to know that she's not saying the truth. But Avi or she did something that was so egregious, and Avi, I think, has started to push back on this firing, because in no world would he just be fired as a personal assistant when he's actually been a cast member, in a way, a friend of to Sutton for 3 seasons, where
right.
he could have retained that, been in that capacity for years, and we would have never known the difference. So there has to be bad blood there for her to make that decision.
Right. And I think it's Kyle who's like, well, you weren't so easy on him. And they do the montage of where you really are, it goes from being funny to being rude very quickly, and you're like, wait, like, I think she's actually mad. Like, I think they blurred the lines on there. You know, it wasn't professional to the point where she could just be a bitch to him.
Yeah, she was like, Avi, get my pants out of the closet. And she goes, those aren't pants! And then she goes, where the hell is this chicken Caesar salad dressing that I ordered? And Jennifer Tilly goes, he's only got 2 hands, my love. The dressing's coming next.
Not enough Tilly. No Tilly.
No Tilly. You got to. Tilly should have been, but I don't think Tilly wants to get the full. I don't think she needs it.
She doesn't need the cash.
She doesn't need the cash. She doesn't maybe want to show certain aspects of her life, but I think that Tilly earned full-time cast member status, so this must be her decision. We needed Tilly, a little bit of Tilly.
Did you see I think Megan, your wife, sent it to us both of a video that Jennifer Tilly posted on TikTok where she did behind the scenes of filming her confessional, and she was like, see, look at all these people that are here to have me say mean things. They ask me questions that trigger me to be rude.
Really? She said that?
Yeah, it was a sort of it was funny. I love everything about her, basically.
Me too.
She's so glamorous. I love that she's like, you thought Erica Jane wore kooky fashions. Well, guess what? I have like 20,000 times more money, and she's going to be on a run for her money because I'm going to wear like a fucking top hat with I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to wear who wears a top? I'm going to wear Slash's top hat, and you're going to be like, where the fuck did you get that?
With like a camel on it or something. Yeah, her and she has, I feel like her only competition is Erica or Bronwyn, but she has the most money, so.
Yeah, no, and you're like, you thought that cast member was rich. It's like Jennifer Tilly is like bordering on billions from Sam Simon's Simpsons money. So yeah, we needed her, but I still think, this episode was wonderful. If we go by what every cast member is trying to bring to the table, Kyle is settling in on the idea of Mauricio kissing a bunch of people. She's gotten over it. The first time she said it was shocking because what the hell was Mauricio doing? He was doing that dirty dancing kiss with that person at the valet stand where he was lifting her fully up like Brock and Sheena and kissing her upside down. It's like, okay, we know the paparazzis caught you, but did you have to do that type of kiss?
I know. His daughters, they do a family sit down because Kyle's daughter, Alexia, is engaged. Her oldest daughter, Farah, is no longer engaged. That fell apart. So now Alexia is her first daughter to get married. I was like, I think this is maybe the first time that I genuinely would, well, I don't know. Okay, I'll scrap how I was trying to frame it and just say I would totally eat up a Umansky spinoff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's stacked. Every scene with them together, I'm like, all the daughters are entertaining. I get their TikToks all the time. I got one of Kyle and the daughters shopping at World Market for Christmas stuff, and I was like, I would watch this all fucking day.
Yeah. I know. I agree with you. No, I thought that scene was wonderful. They obviously, you know, they would have had the sisters dynamic, and like we always talk about, like how much Kyle can bring, but there just must be some sort of mutual decision between Bravo and Kyle that she shows enough that it doesn't make sense to take her away from this sort of Kyle Richards show that she almost already has,
Right.
to split it off and give her own spinoff, but she definitely warrants it in every way. And they even tried to take the runoff for Netflix, and Netflix, of course, fumbled it because they don't know what the fuck they're doing with reality television at all. So nothing could have survived in that dustbin. But I agree with you completely, but I think that we just have to be excited that we get so much of Kyle still, and they still want to show 30% of the entertainment value comes from Kyle being in this version. But if she ever decided to leave, that would be probably the carrot that they would present to her.
Yeah, I love the way they all talk because they're just such a close-knit family. Like, she said that Portia stays at Mauricio's rental house a lot of the time, and they were like, Dad needs to chill on his PDA. Like, the way they talk with each other so frankly is just very refreshing, and there's so much love there, and I just think they're all funny, and it's like all these women and plus the Mo, and I just love them.
Yeah, I know you do. I love him too. And you've like, I've turned completely, like when we like initially were ever talking about Kyle Richards, like I see now what you see in her and her family completely. And I almost feel like when we did our top 10, you know, housewives of all time, like I was the one taking Kyle Richards off the list. And like, if we were doing that now, I'd be like, she'd be like number 4. Like she's the epitome of a housewife on a franchise. And she's been the center diamond holder now for like 7 seasons on her own. The entire, you know, a lot of shit revolves around her specifically. So I would never make that erroneous erroneous statement again, that she deserves to be left off.
Bravo posted, I think today, a TikTok or Instagram of her. It's a montage of her taglines that all revolve around Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And it's like, in this town, in Beverly Hills, born and raised, I run this town. Like, it's like every single tagline. We don't know their taglines yet, do we?
No, I think they wait like two or 3 episodes.
That's such a weird thing to do.
I know. It's like they wait.
They want like a press release just to like remind people. They hold it back so that they have one reason to remind you that it's on.
Possibly, or they need more time once the season is fully finished to reference
We're not
something.
done yet.
Yeah, I really don't know why they do it. But yeah, I love that it's always like, yeah, this is my town. You'll have to rip this town from my cold, dead fingers, like that kind of stuff. Oh, I want to say one thing about Rachel Zoe really quick, because she has a scene with Kathy, so it's a bridge to a cast member. She has these sort of tangential relationships to everyone. I think Kathy and Bose are the ones that she has like a decent relationship with as she comes in. But I got to talk about this Roger guy, which you've seen this, but you know that I perk up whenever an on-camera freak out happens. And I got to talk about these Roger moments, who I don't know this guy at all. He's got Ken Burns hair or Anthony Kiedis hair. And he goes, we really want this viral moment to be pretty viral. And Rachel Zoe goes, viral moment that goes viral. And he goes, and he throws his pen at a table in front of a bunch of people. And I go, oh my God.
The woman in that video that they show is that comedian Amy Phillips, who does like Ramona, and she did Rachel Zoe. It was like they were doing like a dumbass video where that comedian does an impression of Rachel Zoe, so it was for like the dumbest thing alive.
I see. That's funny. It's funny to have no context and but that's it. It's interesting to have the context.
I watched the Rachel Zoe project again in the past year because it's on Peacock now, so that was fresh on my mind. And it was interesting that she said one of her biggest regrets was working with him because that's all they ever did.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, well, you know, maybe that's the area of their life that we you saw. I didn't even see, you know. But it's like remembering Justin and Whitney on Salt Lake City. She goes, God, I wish I hadn't gotten into business with this guy. Maybe their duration just lasted too long because it seems like he was freaking out all the time.
I mean, it's interesting because he actually, in my memory, was like kind of chill. Like he sort of let her, she was the kooky one and he was like the business one. And I'm like, not to give him credit but like you got the impression that she needed him to keep her organized. So I don't know exactly where her career would be. Like they became very ambitious at a certain point where when the show started, she was purely a stylist. Everything you were watching was for like award season or photo shoots, just a very like practically speaking, like pulling looks, dressing a person, and like getting press from doing that. And then as the show went on and she became more famous, she was making sunglasses, like jewelry, clothing line, QVC, like a website, all of this. So I think he's the one that did that. And I, upon my rewatch, was reminded that he invented the Webbies.
Oh my God, you were telling me about that. I can't, but now I get to put a face to a Webby creator. Well, I didn't know that at all. I forgot about that.
He was like, we're going to do this award show where it's for online stuff and it is good, has advertising opportunities and stuff. So he was always wheeling and dealing. So I think he did get her far and she's made a shit ton of money. I think she's had some drama about her like kind of MLM-y stuff.
Okay. Yeah, and I want to say in defense of Roger, who I do not know at all, the other two clips weren't that bad. He just goes, I'm getting pissed. Like the other ones weren't like in his montage of being a monster. Only the pen throwing was the one that I found to be a little too much.
She says at one point to, I think she says it to Kathy. She goes, he's always been Grateful Dead and I've always been St. Bart's. And I was like, what does that even mean?
He's Grateful Dead. I guess I can see it.
Their connection, if I recall, was that they're both obsessed with music, specifically rock from the 60s and 70s. One of their sons is named Caius Jagger.
Really? Like Dorit's son?
It's true. I think the other one is Sky Morrison.
Sky Morrison, like Jim Morrison from
So obviously she's into that shit too. So I don't know why she was like, he's Grateful Dead, I'm St. Bart's, because I'm like, you guys were like rockers. That was like your whole thing.
People were like loving Mick Jagger. Like, remember when he would come out on stage? People must have been like floored when they saw him running out when he was performing for the Rolling Stones. Could you imagine being at that Grateful Dead sphere or whatever with a bunch of deadheads? Like, that must be the most like acid, like the most concentrated acid or mushrooms in the entire world in one place.
That's true. Yeah, including Andy Cohen. She, it sounds like ultimately she was traumatized, that he probably, I think was implying he cheated with someone younger, and immediately she was like, I'll let you do the math on how long they were together. So that's one of the things they all get to bond on, because essentially, I guess Beau's aside, because her ex died. So she doesn't have like drama about a divorce or anything, but like almost every single one of them does, and not Kathy, but they, Erica had her shit. Obviously it was a little different, but she had a nasty divorce or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Dorit is in the middle of it. Kyle's in the middle of it. Sutton has a version of it. Rachel's in the middle of it. So they all get to talk about it. And so I think it will be, hopefully, from what I can tell from this episode and what they've shown in the previews, I think Kyle is like loosening up a little bit. She's less protective about what she's been holding on to this whole time. We get the clip where she goes, I might do Brad, I might do Angelina. So I'm like, please keep on that road. Like, you don't have to protect anything. Yeah,
let's be an open book this season. Speaking of Kathy's husband, really quick, because Beau's does say, she goes, there's no men in this group because I guess, they're all, been through divorces or whatever. But Kathy, you said they're not divorced. And did you hear Kathy's husband, Rick? Yeah, I was just going to say exactly that. The intruders came in and they go, this is going to be a wonderful place to burgle while Kathy is at BravoCon. And they heard just of a shotgun, and they saw what's his name, Rick Hilton in the corner, encased in shadows, and he had a shotgun pointed at their heads, and he goes, "Get out now! You can't burglarize this home." And they ran like a cartoon.
Yeah, he's apparently shot the shotgun into the air out the window to scare him off.
Holy shit, that is so cool. I mean, I'm watching Mad Men, and so I'm so obsessed with Conrad.
Hopefully
Hilton
not on HBO.
No, thank you. I bought it before they restored it to 4K. I spent $20 on it.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I'm just like, I was just thinking of Conrad, and it's like he would be looking down at his grandson, being like, "Holy shit! I hope my grandson someday, what's it called, clicks a shotgun to fend off burglars." He'd be so proud.
Yeah, I'm glad that because she was saying that I don't know if she meant, I assume she meant the guard, because I think they live in Bel Air, which is a bit of a, it's not gated, but they have like a security entrance. And she was like, the guard at the gate, well, maybe they have their own guard, I don't know. But she was saying that he was asleep at the wheel and he didn't get there till
Really
Rick had to cock the gun at them.
Oh, that security guard's gonna get fired, right?
Yeah, you blew it.
And no offense to these burglars, but it's so stupid of them to just assume that because Kathy Hilton was at BravoCon that no one else would be there. Like, are you morons?
I know.
He's got a shotgun waiting for you.
Because Sutton got burgled too, but she, I don't think, had as much of a success story. I think they took shit from her.
I think so. All right, finally, we kind of went kind of around a bunch. Oh, one quick Erica Bose moment. They're forming a friendship. They're friends. They like each other. Erica goes, "How crazy is this? I was at the Hoopla Fest in London doing the best show of my life. And then Tom Girardi calls me. And she said he sounded clear as a bell and sharp as a tack. Perfect construction of sentences. He sounded wonderful, but he was dismayed because he just got sentenced to 7 years in prison, which for someone at his age is quite possibly a death sentence because I think he's over 84 years old."
Yeah. Brutal. Sorry.
What is his age? I was just going to say, he's 86. 86.
Oh, shit. That's guessing. Really old.
So 7 years, I mean, it's rough. I mean, if he gets out at 90, whatever.
No,
whatever,
that's not going to go well.
Yeah.
They also, if you follow Bravo News closely, you know that they were asking her about Jesse Solomon. There's a headline that was like, Erica Jane gets busy with Bravo Celebrity in New York or whatever. And Bose is like, "I've seen the news." And she goes, "Nothing worth reporting happened." And I'm like, wow, big diss to Jesse Solomon.
I think what happened is they must have had sex, but it must have been for maybe 6 or 7 minutes because she then says, "Not worth reporting." Like maybe it just was a suck or sort of shitty sex.
It does kind of put it in perspective because, in the Summer House universe, everyone's like, "Who's this new stud, Jesse Solomon?" But then when it's with a woman in her 50s, she's like, "He's a fucking loser."
Yeah, and she goes, "Maybe the sex I had last night was 10 times better than my lackluster sex with Jesse Solomon." And no offense to Jesse Solomon, I could imagine a world in which they had sex for hours, but I don't think it necessarily means that they just kissed or whatever. I think something happened between them, but Erica is kind of saying,
she's
hey,
playing coy, but also putting him down. And then they sort of talk shit about Sutton, which a lot of what's going on in this episode is everyone being like, well, like, who's Sutton going to be with this season now that Garcelle is gone? She's lost Avi and she's lost Garcelle. So she has a lot of answering to do to the rest of us because, we'll see if she sucks still. And did you understand what this Bose says, "Will the real Slim Sutton please stand up?" And Erica goes, "I don't know if slim is the word. Box."
Yeah, I took that to mean, and I hope this doesn't reveal something of me, and this isn't what Erica intended, but I think that she meant that she's built like a box, like SpongeBob SquarePants, but I don't think of that
That's what I thought too.
But let us know, Turtle Time listeners. Did she mean?
And she's like, "I'm going straight to hell," and I was like, "That is like a fucking rude thing to say."
Yeah, I was like, I would never comment on Sutton's appearance like that, but I don't know what she meant at all. She's just, she was. I think it would maybe just a bad joke, but like she's like not. She said she's not slim. She's shaped like a box, I assume. And then Bose goes, "Yeah, you're going to hell, Erica, for that." What about the dinner at this garden party? This lunch, salmon, steak, Caesar salad, parfaits,
Kyle spared no expense.
alcohol,
flower crowns.
flower crowns. And then someone shows up. Oh, they're already here, but someone shows up and they look exactly like Dorit. It's with Faye Resnick. But then eventually they find out because they couldn't see from the sun.
Kyle's
just
turning
Faye's...
into Kathy. She can't recognize who the hell is coming to her party.
Yeah. Oh, what did you think? Okay, and then when they're sitting down, they do push on Sutton not having any allies. Dorit even says, which Kyle was loving this. You could see Kyle's respect for Dorit when Dorit goes, "Do you think your relationship with Garcelle was more of a friendship or sort of an alliance?" And makes weights because they all feel that way. And I feel like Garcelle felt that way. It's like that was very revealing. I feel like when Garcelle got left on a limb with the home invasion theory by Sutton, that was the last straw. And Garcelle was like, I was your fucking ride or die. I aligned with you for everything. And then I went too far and you didn't give me anything at the reunion because, in my opinion, it's indefensible, Garcelle's theory to bring up. It's one of those things that you and I would say at a dinner when we're drunk as hell, but you'd never say it out loud. Garcelle went out on a limb and expected Sutton to be there with her. And that's kind of what Bose is alluding to as well. And so Garcelle's last straw was that she was out on that limb alone. And that's why she has not punished Sutton, but unfollowed Sutton and not continued to want to be her friend.
Right. Yeah, which is a big L for Sutton. And then we get both at the Sutton's lunch and this, Kathy is doing some major Kathy-isms where she's looking at herself in the reflection of the knife. She gets scissors out of her bag and is trying to cut a stray straw out of her hat. At this sit down, she pulls jeans out of her bag and she's like, look how cute these are. I brought these for Kyle. And everyone's like, what is always going on with she has this Mary Poppins bag full of shit.
Yeah, she always has her own goals and like her own adventures that she's on. She goes, Rag and Bones. She goes, aren't these the cutest jeans you've ever did see? And they go, Kathy, why the hell are those rolled up in your bag? She goes, I'm giving them to Kyle and I'm looking at them in the sunlight right now. I was also so worried when she had those scissors near her head.
I know, it was like, damn, girl. I saw last night that kind of something we were talking about. The Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner did a TikTok live to sell Skims products. And they had Kyle Richards there. And then they were talking because it was live. They go, did Kathy know that this was live? Because she's not here yet. And they were like, maybe she didn't know it was live and she thought she could just roll up whenever and we would film it whenever she arrived. And then eventually she did arrive and she was up to all crazy shenanigans and they were all laughing their asses off. And I'm like, see, this is what would be happening on the Kyle spinoff.
Yes. No, yeah. And I do think it's real now. There's enough instances like when Kathy went up to on that red carpet at Sutton's wonderful fashion show, you remember? And she like stood in front of the model as they were coming out. Like, I think this shit just does happen. She's lived a life without any repercussions. So she does whatever the hell she wants at all times.
Mr. Magoo ass.
Total. Mr. Magoo. Is that, I wonder if that's a literary figure. I think so.
Yeah, probably. Okay. So then the end of this is just everyone talking about divorce stuff. Like Rachel is saying she's trying to keep it, cordial with Roger. They go over how much Dorit's kids know about the breakup, and it sounds like they sort of figured it out, but they haven't formally said that they're getting divorced, and that PK is coming for joint custody. And she's like, of course he wants the public to think he wants joint custody when in fact he has no time, or like the way he acts in real life would not warrant joint custody because he's never fucking home.
Yeah. And then a little bit of Austen and Craig dynamic. They go PK just wants to kiss people in public to be like his old pal Mauricio kissing people. They go, that's a reason why he wanted to have that PDA outside of that Dan Tana's restaurant or whatever, give that big public showing because he's envious of Mauricio's single lifestyle. And they kind of make fun of him. And Reba, when she was there earlier at the other dinner, she goes, PK is one of the most unattractive men I've ever seen in my life. And then I didn't understand when Erica says back at this garden party, she goes, Mauricio wishes that he could party like PK. She goes, he's like a cat in a canary-filled house when he goes party. He goes, Mauricio's like the dog shit leagues and PK is the Premier League of partying. I go, what the hell are you talking about? What kind of partying did you see PK do that made you so like?
Are they just saying he's an alcoholic?
No, I thought that you meant like the nightlife that he has access to or something was on a different tier of existence than what Mauricio gets up to. But if it was that, possibly. I don't know. I thought Erica was like sort of saying, like, letting us into like that PK has access to a different world of partying that Mo
Yeah, she
doesn't.
said Mauricio's kindergarten level.
Yeah.
And then Rachel, this was one of the things that was surprising to me. She goes, I actually saw Mauricio in Aspen and someone tried to set us up. And I was like, what? And then she was like, well, it was kind of like that thing where people assume that because you're famous, you know the other person that's famous. So she kind of brushed it off, but I was like, that's kind of crazy. And I was surprised that she even said that. And then she was feeling, I don't know if she was, it didn't seem like she was in her cups, but she was feeling bold. She goes, PK sucks. Get out of there. You don't want to be with a narcissist. Like, fuck him. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, she's just going straight in. And Bose keeps being like, damn, like, I thought I was forward. And I'm like, yeah, she's just, she's getting away with it.
Yeah. And Dorit loves it too. Dorit is not taken aback. I think like you said, she has respect for Rachel at the outset of this.
Yeah.
And so she's kind of like, I love it. Keep saying PK sucks and he's a narcissist. Like, I'll take it. So it's great. And this is when Rachel is sort of, holding court. And she goes, this is when she said what I already mentioned, where she was sort of getting them to sort of rally around the idea of partying. And then the entire season is based on this hot girl summer premise, where the entire trailer for the season is them talking about it, wanting to have it, losing it at some point. So she kind of tied the season together with a narrative.
It's true. Yeah. They go to the Hamptons, they go to Sedona, they go to Italy, and we mustn't forget that there is going to be a new friend of named Amanda who seems messy, and I'm looking forward to that as well. So,
me too.
Good start. It felt, I don't know, yeah, it kind of felt exactly where we left off. There were a couple things that worried me, just like Dorit saying, Kyle only reached out to me 4 days after my divorce was public. I was like, I can't go there again. I don't fucking care. Like, no. And then what else? There were a couple things where I was just like, or like Bose is also suspicious of Kyle. And I'm like, she didn't do anything to you. Like,
yeah,
you know.
I do think Dorit is going to make some mistakes because I did like the scene where Erica Jane, like, she was like, shut up, Erica. And Erica's like, I'm never going to stop talking for you, Dorit. And then Dorit walks off. I was like, I wonder if that's emblematic of Dorit standing with the group, because then when we saw her at BravoCon with all of her cast members who she got to hang out with, she was just sitting alone next to us smoking a cigarette. And I was like, are you just not good friends with your cast right now?
Yeah. American Spirit menthol.
American Spirit menthols. Well, I'll never forget that. I thought it looked great too. Besides those little blips of like, we don't have to talk about that. I'm really hoping that Erica goes, I'm meeting dinner with a mystery guest, and then we see them from behind, and it's obvious it's down with Erica, and Erica has to justify why she ever in the world would have a dinner with Avi. But anyway,
did you see that? I think it must have been while they were filming the Skims thing. Kyle and Kim Kardashian did a Beast How Dare You lip sync.
No. Oh my God. I got to get into this. Please send me all this stuff.
Stop everything.
That's great. And then that calls to mind that they said that this what's their trip? Their trip rivals Amsterdam. They're touting that their trip,
Italy or Sedona.
Yeah. I thought that they were like, we don't have to keep talking anymore, but there were like 3 trips this year: Sedona, Hamptons, and Italy. Like a little more than you normally get. I think they're proud. I hope they're proud of the season. You know, it seemed like there's some good moments.
I remain. I'll say I'm hopeful, but with some trepidation.
Me too. Oh,
I've been burned before.
Let's leave it there. I'm hopeful with trepidation as well. Well, you and I'm hopeful that no, there's no segue here. I feel hopeful that you and I made a good episode of Turtle Time, and that we fulfilled all of our obligations and the mission of Turtle Time by talking about news and recapping 2 episodes. Fridays are great now, I feel like, in terms of content that you and I get to recap. Southern Charm and Beverly Hills for now. Like, I'll take it.
If anything, we have to, watch how long we talk.
You're right. You and I can't stop.
That's 2 premium shows.
Yeah. I'm like, holy shit. It's like, Riley, shut up. But anyway, let's say goodbye. I want to just recommend again our Patreon. I say it every single week, but we're doing some wonderful work over there. I'll say it myself. We're recapping Vanderpump Rules. We released an episode of our Villa Rosa Film Society, which I think had a good reaction from our wonderful Villa Rosa VIPs, because we talked about the Family Stone and we dug deep. And it's just a fun place if you have some cash that's burning a hole in your pocket, just come on, give it to us. What
Yeah.
the hell? Just do it, and then write reviews. If you can't spend cash, write a review. Just tell the world that you like Turtle Time, please. I love our Spotify comments. I love our YouTube comments. Everyone gets read by us and internalized by me for years, or a year if it's bad.
Yeah. I'll say this out loud so that we actually do it, but we're exploring adding video on Spotify if that's something that you normally do. So we're figuring that out. We will announce when that is the case. But yeah, we're on YouTube. Follow us on our socials too.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. What the hell? Go to Instagram and go to TikTok and follow us there. Follow our personal accounts. Go nuts.
Sure.
Just go nuts. Please go nuts for Turtle Time.
And I said this at the top of the week, but now is the time to buy your Christmas presents. We have a lot of shit on our Etsy. Get the orders in now before it gets stressful, too close to the holidays.
I feel like some elves are in the workshop right now, sewing up some shirts. I've seen a lot of orders coming in of people who are taking our advice. You got to get a Bravo lover in your household. You got to get them one of these shirts that Amy and I have lovingly made.
Get a West Wilson, get a Jiggy prayer candle, get a I'd rather be taking a certified turtle piss break shirt. I died and went to heaven at BravoCon, even if you didn't.
Yeah, you seriously could go nuts in there. You'll be absolutely going insane if you get access to this Etsy store.
And if you're a VIP, you get a discount code. So don't forget that.
Well, and we can't say it. You got to get to that's a Patreon exclusive. You don't get that discount.
Yeah, you might save the amount that it costs you to become a VIP. So consider it like free.
Holy shit. Could you imagine that? Wait, look, can I just walk through this for 1 second with myself? Go to Patreon, sign up for $6 tier. You get the code, and then you go buy a Wes Wilson fan t-shirt, and then you basically just got that money back, and you get to listen for a month to all of our exclusive content.
Yeah, it's a win-win for everyone.
Holy shit. All right, well, I have to go lie down.
Me too.
No, I really do. Okay, I'm going to lie down. Amy, congratulations on another Turtle Time. We're going to go. This is our Friday episode. We'll be back for Patreon on Monday, and just like clockwork next week, you'll see all the same shit. We love you so much. Goodbye. Have a great weekend.
Bye.